I haven't felt like myself since I died. I wish I was a poet that could talk about the flowers, but I've never had a green thumb. Every flower I touch dies, and when I rose from the dead, I coughed up so much dry dirt you could have irrigated it, just like hairballs of Mother Earth, I her cat. And you know, I planted a theory once that the ghosts of your past are just pieces of yourself waiting around the house, starting to grow. My body, a performance in waiting, waiting to love. My body, a specter waiting to haunt to again feel whole. My body, a hand-me-down for an earth tired of sharing. I'm saying, here, take it. I don't want it anymore. One day, life will tire of ways to green gown me. And one day, this body will be blackened with ash, and one day I will inherit everything it fruits to life, and one day I will feel everything without feeling like I have to grow from it. As the king of this body, I will stretch my smile so wide the orchid blooms between my legs, so wide the throne no longer feels like a prison, so wide the drain in my shower finally gets unclogged. And I have a feeling that not everything will change, because I still want something to look at light and still choose me. I still want something to buy me flowers and feel powerful when I am not. I still want something to grow, something to make a home out of this empty body. And I can no longer call that something me. What dies first? The self, right? When I am naked for the last time, I will speak of every man this body has held prisoner as an old friend. I will speak of organic love, of wholesale freedom, of drinking my garden's entire nectar. I will speak of those flowers the poets love so much. And hey, if it takes a village to raise a child, how many flowers does it take to raise a dead girl? One day it will take more than language to understand me. One day, it will take silence. Creativity is a cycle, and it reflects the earth. I think that my poem reflects the nature of growing and finding community in one specific place, as plants and flowers often do. You don't always have to be creative 100% of the time. It comes and it goes. This poem just happened to be written on a day where I was feeling super creative. I've been lucky personally to find my own creative community in poetry and in the arts at large, but I do understand that there are a lot of young, especially BIPOC writers, who haven't yet found that community, and I want to say that that's okay. You will take root on your own, you will find your own community, but you have to have this sense of peace and love for yourself in order to be able to find that later on. I think that is what I have found in poetry, that ultimately it is a tool of community building. And, you know, when you write a really great line and you share it with your friends, the experience of them reacting to the poem, engaging with it, interacting with it, that is what really makes a poem, but that's also what creates a sense of community between you and your friends. Poetry is like an adhesive in that way. It sticks with people. But yeah, I think it's a powerful tool.
Hey y'all, give yourself a big warm round of applause. Welcome. You are here live at our queer reading, no hold back with words, beats, and life. Patrick Washington.
Yes, Reggie Cabico. How are you doing, my friend?
It has been decades, and I'm happy, or it seems like decades, and it's great to be here hosting this incredible reading. So we're all excited.
Yeah. You all look beautiful. I'm glad to see you all. I want you to take a moment, though. Go backstage, just kind of chill out for a moment. Get yourselves together. We'll be talking to you momentarily. Let me do a quick intro for everybody, okay? So I will see you all in a minute. Let me jump on this, and I will kick it off for you. Yes. So yeah, that's you too, Reggie. You can go. What's up, family? Yo, this is Patrick Washington, aka Black Picasso of the Almighty Poem Seas, and I am blessed to be here this Sunday afternoon with you all as we get free. We're about to get open and just really just hopefully tear the roof off of this mug right now. This is a celebration of voices that refuse to be silenced, right? We have a combination of poets, activists, we have storytellers, we have griots in the building, and they're going to share themselves with you. And hopefully they come with unflinching honesty. They're going to share the joys and the struggles of living authentically. Okay, that's why we're here. So, and I'm down for it too. Look, I'm in the spirit, yo. This is celebrating myself, yo. Odd Future, for those who don't know, that is a hip hop crew based out of LA of mostly queer artists, and that's what we're celebrating right now. So I'm definitely in the spirit. I want to get down with Dwayne B. I want to get down with ISHANEE Chanda, Charlotte Maleski, A.TONY Jerome, and now I want to bring in my good friend and the host of this evening, REGIE CABICO. Where are you at, fam?
I'm right here. And a big shout out to Andy, who is doing some of the virtual magic.
The hard stuff, right? Yes, the difficult work, man. Oh, man. But yeah, how you feeling?
I'm excited. It is April Poetry Month. I've been doing 30 for 30, so I can't wait to kick some of my poems.
Hey, look, it's been a minute since I heard your voice, so I'm looking forward to everything you have to say. This has been an incredible weekend. I don't know if you know, but you know, the Word Power Fest, we've had all kinds of events. We had the book fair earlier today. Some good friends of yours, Renegade was in there. Who else? It was Alan King, some other folks. Yesterday,
What?
yeah. Yesterday, we had a bunch of events. We found out who was the 2022 DMV Youth Poetry Slam team, and so we're ready to go. You know, we're having a lot of fun. And later on this evening, we're going to have a terrific event called David and Goliath. And that's
wow.
We're bringing in, and you've done a David and Goliath event in the past before.
Yes.
We bring in some OG poets, some fresh new faces, and just throw them in the pot and see what happens, man. We have Gail Danley. We have Bonafide Rojas from New York. We have Wes Felton. We have his son, Tobias Felton. We have Malpractice, Malachi Bird, and Ilana Ernst, who is the Montgomery County Poet Laureate, Youth Poet Laureate. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Excellent. Wow. It is powerhouse packed.
Yes. Well, look, we're powerhouse packed tonight.
We certainly are. Yep.
Yeah. So look, I'm going to get out of your way because I know what time it is. Yeah.
You got it. All right. Stop it up for Patrick Washington. We're going to get this show on the road. I am REGIE CABICO. My pronouns are he, him typically, but I answer to she and they. I'm going to kick a poem in the beginning and maybe one or two at the end before I introduce the poets in this order. Dwayne B, followed by ISHANEE Chanda, followed by A.TONY Jerome, and closing with the Youth Poet Laureate from Arlington County, Charlotte Maleski here. So, this poem is a new poem, so it is new shit. You can repeat after me. Wheel of Chakras. My spine is an obsidian sphinx with no sense of humor. My pubic bone is a 24/7 casino slot machine. My ribs are marching bands of bottlenose dolphins blowing bazookas. My heart is a cinematic red carpet with thumbprint apricot cookies. My vocal cords are hydrangeas in full bloom. My intuition is a jack in the box with Jill tendencies. My crown is a little Filipino boy, BOI boy, singing Tina Turner's Private Dancer with a Walkman cassette player, roller skating past Chuck E. Cheese. And those are my wheels of chakras. Snap it up for your own chakras, your own internal rainbow. Uh, Without any further ado, I'm going to introduce our first poet. I just want to say that this is our LGBTQIA reading, and I'm so excited to get some curiosity in the house. The first two poets I am familiar with, and I can't wait to hear the work from A.TONY Jerome and Charlotte Maleski. That said, Dwayne B is an iconoclastic, quixotic poet, theater artist, activist, educator, presently on the board with me at Split This Rock, as well as a poet who has a book that is forthcoming from Day 8 Press. I can keep going on and on. Oh, Helen Hayes nominee for Best Young Audiences Play with Drew Anderson. I'm going to stop right there because I could keep going on. Please show your love. Snap it up for the one and only Dwayne B, y'all. Dwayne B.
Reggie, thank you so much. I'm just like glittering, fluttering. Thank you. Yo. It's always a pleasure to share space and have a space where I can like share poetry. Especially on this stage, because I have lived my life for a long time being perceived as a cishet person, and so this is kind of my coming out party. It's like, hey,
Yes. Yes.
living in a more full self. And so thank you for the space, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Andy, you can immediately slide me out.
All right, let's get into some poems. So I'll be reading a set of newer works. So poem. It's Tuesday, and I'm answering the night's call. Slither from beneath blankets, get gussied up. Put on my favorite dress, the yellow one that flows when I twirl. Hope that someone sees me and thinks, pretty. With my ashy elbows and messy bun, my dirt-caked, unwashed hands, a receipt for the afternoon of pulled weeds. It's Tuesday, and the night is perfect for lonesome and arousal. Find a place to share space before the cops shut it down, or the price is too high for us to stay, or the right one says the wrong things and we hear that familiar chopper sound. Perfect weather to make a memory with a stranger and throw risk to the wind. It's Tuesday. Catch me twirling under bright lights, the prettiest boy in the streets. Cool. All right. So my name is Dwayne. They, them. I answer to it all. But they, them is maybe, I believe, my truest self. And I feel like I'm proof that you are never too old to continue to learn more about yourself and where you are and who you are. We're constantly growing and constantly changing. And so this piece is called Love in the In-Between. My partner wants to steal my dresses. Wear them around hips I long to hold close. She questions why eyes linger on my legs. What this makes her. In stockings that accentuate what people use to define me. She loves the woman I hide inside, the way I love her, deep with want. Questions what this makes her. a kisser of queer body, stroker of them in him trappings, or simply a lover in all the in-between. My partner sits in my closet, rank with the stench of longing, and I, a pound of flesh worth the work. Ooh. Poems, 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 poems. So yeah, these are all largely new works that I've written during the 3030. So if you are one of those folks getting your right on throughout the 3030, know that something can come of it. And know that the work continues to grow. All of these are a work in progress and are workshopping and will take root and grow into something different. So we'll see. Poem. I want to kiss you when I'm at my prettiest, where my masculine meets my cunty, and you love me fully, in all of my in-between and magical mystic. This is the closest I feel to God, when I'm in your arms and beyond comprehension, a beautiful mess that defies definition, and you devoted to a whirlwind. I spin for you, the sweetest tornado, a mass of disaster, freeing you to rebuild. 2. We spent time today, alone in the same space, flirted bashfully as if we haven't tasted each other. Modesty is a balancing act we've perfected with the secret. My hand misses yours, a companion in captivity. We worked on projects that aren't for each other together. And this felt normal, as it should when you have a partnership. The sun watched through my window as stitches and keystrokes built to climax, kisses landing on fertile ground. There will always be time here, and alone awaiting your together, a partner for co-creation, a hand wanting to be held. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you like what you heard, I have a website called crochetkingpin.com. And there are poems on there. You can follow my delinquent 3030 because I'm a bit behind, as well as my 2 current collections that are available are on the website, and I'll drop those in the chat as well. Thank you.
Right. That was Dwayne B, y'all. And you could slide Dwayne out, Andy. That is cool. Beautiful. Snaps. Um, on deck, we're going to have A.TONY Jerome, but right now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a poet who rocked the open mic as a feature at Brooklyn Bus Boys and Poets this last Friday night. ISHANEE Chanda is the author of 2 books of poetry that you can get. One of them is called Oh, These Walls, They Crumble. And ISHANEE, what was the other title?
The other book is called The Overflow.
The Overflow. Beautiful. I can't wait for you to rock it out. Without any further ado, let's give it up for from DC, as well as myself coming to you from Union Market, but also ISHANEE is coming to you from DC. Without any further ado, the poetic stylings of the one and only ISHANEE Chanda. And I can glide.
Bengali was once voted the sweetest sounding language in the world. Ami tomake bhalobashi. I love you. There are no harsh noises in the language, only soft tongues and even softer intentions. It was my first language, born from homespun ground and family trees, followed by English soon after. I chose to learn Spanish when I was in middle school. I was 11 years old. There was this Latina girl in my English class, and I wanted to be able to seduce her in Spanish. I had it all planned out. I would sidle up to her, smirk plastered in place. Hola, señorita. ¿Cómo estás? She laughed in my face. I chose to learn Hindi when I was 13 years old. My parents spoke Hindi with their friends. It was in movies and supermarkets and all kinds of love. It was a sign of being Indian. And after a while, I began to wonder if the fact that I didn't know the language which meant that I wasn't one. I started to learn Odia when I was 15 years old. My family in India lives in a state with its own language. Odisha, Odia, it's confusing, I know, but we would go back. And in the midst of crowded streets and the smell of samosa and gupchup on wheeled carts, my family, my parents, they spoke as if they were home. It's the language of my household, my aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents. And after a while, I began to wonder, since I didn't know the language, it meant that I wasn't one of them. I chose to learn Italian when I was 18 years old. I told myself I didn't really have a reason. It was fun. It was sexy. It was something I always wanted to do. But now there are 6 languages in my head, words buzzing in circles that scream lost in big white letters, because somewhere along the way, that is what I have become. My parents were born in India. Grown from dry seeds in arid soil, I was born there but raised here with only the skin color to show for it. If you ask me, I'll tell you I'm Indian, but I can't really speak the language. If I'm feeling patriotic, I'll say I'm American, but here language is nothing compared to the color of your skin. But if I'm honest, I'll tell you I'm lost. I'm a tree with no roots, no soil to call my own. I live in a country that wants me gone, but I left a country that doesn't want me back. I tell myself I like to learn languages because it's something that I'm good at. But I think I learn these languages so I can find somewhere that I belong. If I learn these languages, if I learn French and Portuguese and German and Russian and Senegalese and Chinese and hell, even Australian tongue, maybe somewhere will take me. Maybe I will have a home. Hola, me llamo Ishani. No tengo una casa. Ciao, mi chiamo Ishani. No, no una casa. नमस्कार আমার नाम ईशानी আমার কাছে ঘর নেই नमस्ते मेरा नाम ईशानी मेरे पास घर नहीं नमस्कार मोर नाम ईशानी मो पाखरे घर নাই my name is Ishani. I don't have a home. But maybe, just maybe, home is not soil underneath grounded feet for tree roots to sink deep into. Maybe home is in the crevices of my best friend's elbows, made to hug me closer when I am broken. Maybe home is in the eyes of my parents, watching me grow into the woman they tell me they're proud of. Maybe home is in the heartbeat of the woman I will one day fall in love with, breathing in time with my pulse, reminding me maybe I've known the language of home all along. Maybe that language is love. Thank you so much for Word Power Fest for having me, Reggie, and all of my fantastic co-poets. It's so nice to be able to share this opportunity with you guys. I'm going to do 2 more pieces. One of them, I was inspired by a time that I started talking to my therapist about how much I really like superheroes. And she had a lot to say about it. And then I wrote a poem about it. So here you go. To be a superhero is to think that you can save everything that you touch. The spider in your kitchen cabinet, the last apple teetering off your grocery bag, the pedestrian about to cross the zooming street, your mother, your father, their marriage. When I talk to my therapist about superheroes, she nods at me sort of interestingly, like she has a secret, but she wants me to dig for it. See, her superpower is being annoying, and mine is being perfect. So we make a good, annoying, perfect pair. And she asks me, Shawnee, why do you want to save everybody? Why do you want to save everybody? Put your skin on the line, swoop in with a red cape, a massive thunderous lightning strike that says, see me save you. See me sacrifice my skin and bone and any prospect of an existence to be known to you as the person who made sure that you breathed another breath today. See me wash away your troubles, take away your woes. I did that. Me. Your life is better because of my existence. I grew up thinking that it was the only way to be appreciated. Be seen. The only way you could bring joy and be remembered was to save every single person around you, be tossed aside like an old disheveled dish rag, to be perceived by people as to ask them for their unconditional love every single day of their life. Move every mountain for them, climb up roads and valleys with the skin of my fingers just to see them bleed, because it's gotta be me. It's gotta be my blood on the line. You've got to know that, because if I don't spill my insides for you, how do I know you won't leave them behind? Let me ask you this. How many times have you passed a dead animal in the center of the road? A skunk in tepid summer heat, an armadillo legs up on side of the street. Do you remember? Do you think about them when you pass by? Do you look at them or glance at the clouds up high in the sky? What if that skunk stopped a meteor from hitting you? That armadillo raced to the ends of the earth and back to get you the medicine you needed to survive. Would you remember them then? Would you leave them behind like that? Guts on the pavement, run over again and again by every single thing following you from behind. Why do you want to save everybody? Why do you want to save everybody? When I was 14 years old, I sliced myself open in a bathtub filled with warm water. Dreamed of school assemblies and Irish wakes, and my picture plastered everywhere with flowers. Flowers, candles, handwritten notes littering the floor. I still dream what I would do if a shooter walked through the door. I could tell you it's because saving people would mean that they would miss me when I am gone. But I think in reality, I just don't want them to move on. To be a superhero is to be remembered for being the person that saves the day. To be a martyr is to be remembered fondly for giving it up voluntarily anyway. Why do you want to save everybody? Why do you want to save everybody? Because they'll love me for it. Because there was a time when I didn't want to be alive. Because it was love and kindness and friendship and people staying that brought me back to life. I save everybody because it's the only way I know how to breathe. To keep air in these lungs until they believe you belong here. You have a right to survive. People will love you. Please stay alive. Thank you. I'm going to close with a piece I haven't done in a while. It's a bit rusty, but obviously I think as a storyteller, a lot of us kind of keep all of those stories inside of us, even after we tell them. And so this is an homage to that. It'll be my last piece. So I want to thank you guys again for listening. People ask me what the most interesting thing about me is. I usually say that I like to tell stories. So the go-to answer for that first date, networking, two coworkers who don't really know each other, are stuck in an elevator together and need to make small talk question. And usually the response is pretty standard. They ask me, what about? And I tell them everything. What I don't tell them is that when you like to tell stories like I do, the world shifts into something fuzzier. There's a hazy glow that exists behind someone's smile, a camera glare that bounces off a summer day when the heat is just right. Every highway is the scene of an early 2000s rom-com road trip, and every night drive is lit by street lights and melancholy. First dates feel like waiting to breathe, hands brushing against each other like fireworks sparking in painted flesh. And love feels like the answer to any question you'd ever think to ask. Like it is the thing to look for behind every door, every corner, and every pair of ocean green eyes. I can make a love poem out of one glance at a coffee shop, a written screenplay out of the way ice cream looks dripping off someone's lips in the heat of June. I can write odes and eulogies and rambling monologues about how somebody looks when they're walking towards me, but especially when they're walking away, usually when they're walking away. You tell stories like I do, everything hurts and everything feels great, and there's no in between. Because that's the thing about turning everything into a story. It never goes away when you're done. Instead, the words stay etched into you somewhere. Be the curve of your collarbones or the flesh of your beating heart. I sleep with poetry carved into my eyelids and wake up with it in my teeth. I find it around street corners and dresser drawers at the bottom of every cup of coffee, in the smile of the person I brush up against on the metro platform, in my best friend's hands when she is crying, in the quiver of my love's voice when she tells me it was never meant to be. I turn everything into something to remember, something to treasure, something to mourn, something that tears you apart if you let it, and it will always let it. So the thing is, it didn't let people come in and sweep me off my feet, drown me in the ocean, send me floating towards the sun. What would I write about when they're gone? It was in third grade when I wrote my first novel. It was in third grade when I got my heart broken for the first time, and I think along the way those became the same thing. I'm writing a story about every single person that I knew, sometimes about the slopes of their lips, usually the shaking tremble of their hands and how they walk away. It is the only thing that makes sense to me. Putting people into words when nothing else lines up just right, because at least this way they can't jump off this page and leave me behind. Writing about people is how I hold them in my heart and in my hands. It is how I make them beautiful. This is how I keep them with me, watch them grow into flowers and metaphors that become less of an anchor and more of a warm blanket. Instead, I carry prose in my heartbeat, love in my footsteps. I carry the world on my shoulders and fill it with every damn thing I've got, because at the end of the day, telling stories is the only way I know how to give love back to the universe, whether I've ever really had it or not. And that loving and living and breathing despite it all. That is the only way I want my story to end. Thank you all. I also have a few books available for purchase. I will be putting those links in the chat. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it and looking forward to hearing the rest of the poets. Thank you.
Beautiful. That was ISHANEE Chanda, everyone. ISHANEE, the astonishing ISHANEE. I also just want to give a shout out. I'm going to call you out, ISHANEE, because I met your girlfriend Friday night. So, yes, you cannot stop love in a pandemic or in quarantine. So, for those of you who are in love, it's love, and it's spring, and it's April Poetry Month. All right. We are going to keep it going. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next poet. They are coming to us from Laurel. I am so excited to hear this poet's work. Please show your love for the one and only, the poetic stylings of A.TONY Jerome.
You hear me? I want to make sure before I start. Can you hear me? Okay. It's been a minute since I've done a poem, so we're just gonna go with it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. All these poems are to the high school version of me who was closeted, not safe at all, and felt very trapped. Okay. Ode to If I Were a Boy by Sierra. Praise to the first among many to make me question my gender and sexuality in 4 minutes or less. Praise be to the curve of Sierra's smirk and the sag of her pants and the strength of her dance as she pops, locks, drops, and slowly brings herself back up in total control. Praise be to the black and white of this video, of the flashes of a man only to criticize his actions. Praise be to the women who dress butch and is the only way I would have been able to watch this video in the holy den of my grandmother's house in the swelter of summer as an awkward teenager. Praise be to the only video that let me answer no to do you want to be a boy? Not because there is any damnation in that one, but because I'm trying to be truer to myself nowadays. And this video answers that binary is not the only gender I must follow. Praise be to Promise, following directly after on BET, and how tight Sierra allowed her clothes to be, reminding me that even if I am a question mark for always in gender, I'm at least at this very moment sure of who this question mark yearns to hold. Okay, this one is titled, Once I Read That Ugliness is Infinite. Once I read that ugliness is infinite, and with a life like mine, with a love like mine, and a body like mine, what better gift could I demand? I say demand because I'm done asking for the bare minimum. You don't give it freely anyways. May as well get what I came here for. I walk around apology, and no one even questions whether or not I'm the one who should be sorry. They look at my black, my trans, my lesbian, my mentally ill, my trauma, and say, well, what else could you be? And more than say it, they treat me like it. Not worthy of space to unpack the shit they sewn into me for safekeeping. No, they hear me ask, please don't kill me, and they tut. Say maybe, or maybe not yet. I demand life, yes, but even more than that, a body that recognizes me in the mirror and loves the reflection. A safety that defines itself as the least I can do after all the trouble they put you through. Yes, I demand the best, not because I am the best, but because I do deserve it. The curses, the hurt, I took it, because that was all that was offered. But what I've been given, I did not ask for. And I've been able to take this good chunk of beat in my chest, and I made my own hands, and I made my own chest to protect the beat, and I made my own mouth, and my legs and thighs and feet and ankles and wrists and back and neck. Oh, how strong my neck. I made it all on my own. I made it my own. I do not go around with the good hands that I made, hope for whatever they drop into beckoning palms anymore. No, they told me I was ugly, and I took it, badged it to my breast, because this I can claim. See, they already sold me evil, shamed me for safekeeping. I do not deny my carrying it. I'm not even saying I will drop it off here anymore. I'm saying that I do not live waiting for forgiveness. I do not live waiting for vengeance. I live ugly and full and pulsing and alive. They try to kill me, and they try to kill me, and they try to kill me. But look how infinite my ugly. Look how unkillable I strong built my pulse. The last one is the most recent one, I think, and it's called Here Origin Means Accident. Okay. I met my love as a youth and was punished for it. My wings torn from my back in my sleep, the bloodied awake, the begging for stitching from my mother because she did not want me to walk around open wound. The way I kept the wounds open and the teeth came in stronger. Canine sharp, feet clawing. I go to the skate park to remember how to fly. Birds come crashing into my closed mouth. My heart fakes its death and opens its eyes to my love, stuttering in its remembrance. She pulls the birds from my mouth and puts them in hers. She scratches her hands on the way. I turn my back to her, not in blame, but defiance. You see what they did, and I still turn into animals that can only love you. She peels open her throat and hands slither out. I grow to hold them all. She reaches for me, and I break out into hives, her scales. I dip myself in vinegar and hold her close, no burning. She rubs the back of my neck and leans in. Fingers push right below my skull. A danger, a promise. Your wings, we will get them back. Thank you all, and I'm really excited to hear the rest of the poets, and I hope you all are well.
That was A.TONY Jerome, everyone. Please snap it up. Wow, we got powerful poets. Poetry is intense feeling plus imagery. And I am just truly, truly floored by what I have heard here. And we hope that you are in our feed, feeling the love that we have here, and that it's out there too. So we have our next poet from Arlington, Virginia, the Arlington youth poet, the one and only, and I'm so happy to hear them read. Please snap it up for the poetic stylings of Charlotte Maleski, y'all. Let's give it up for Charlotte.
Yeah, I am the Youth Poet Laureate of Arlington County for 2021. So I want to shout out, I don't know if the event later tonight will feature Kashfi Rahmani, but she is the 2022 Arlington Youth Poet Laureate, so I want to shout out her. She's a fantabulous poet. And I'm so excited to pass the torch to her. So yeah, here's a poem. It's called Mountain. New shit. I walk with my bathroom mirror rippling underfoot. So many stones that I've thrown at its surface, so trying to warp a kinder oscillation, but I end up looking like a circus performer, a fool. I put the woman in my shoulders and throw them straight behind me. Every morning I let my jaw be a mountain boulder, holy and natural, while dreaming surgical dreams. Why is my body not yet a mountain? Shouldn't it always have been? My mountain is interrupted by river stones, leading to the delta of my hips. Lord, where is my mountain? In this binary mind, somehow a valley is the inversion of a mountain, and I beg this mirror to turn me inside out. Some mornings I attempt to wring the woman out of me, every button down my torso, a nail in her coffin. Like a Christmas tree, I hang garish ornaments from my ears, so I'm some symbol of cheer and forgotten holiness. My bathroom mirror watches my changing seasons, my geography, my hibernations. Also, I can go and jest about it to the hungry circus goers. eyes of wonder that complement the act without knowing the earthquakes beneath it, the grins at my ornaments without knowing the God I worship with them. But the mirror sees me, circus performer, sinner, believer, mangling my inheritance of God's green one, Mother Earth's Eve one. Beyond my flesh, I am the soil of the mountain, the embrace of the valley, the oscillation of a wind chime. I am so many. There is no at least to spare for those between the binary, but they means plenty. So many rivulets of silt, so many Mother Earth's tresses are my veins inlaid with her kisses. My pulse, the gales tonight make up the inertia of my blood. I am more than mass, but motion, motion, motion. Behold it. I command myself to behold it and celebrate. There's that. Here's more new shit, and I made it in April because I'm so happy that April is the poetry month because I think the weather is so perfect for poetry, especially where I live. So this is all about the weather and the wonderful queerness that happens in beautiful weather. This is called You're Beautiful. Between all the new monsters prowling with my face fitted about their maw, I forgot what they said in that grass that didn't itch of femininity. Like azaleas tumbling into bloom, I kissed them, wondering what to say next. They believed it, and so did I. They were the only tongue so dandelion true they could convince me. Silver tongues glint like mirrors, reflect a stunned silence into my throat, speaking heedless of that arrogant self-perception I expected from the jury of passerby. Silver sentences me to myself, written by the antiquated pen of pupils. Every eye is a student I cannot teach. Beneath the unabashed April sun, we passion grass stains into our clothes. Be golden and go blind. There's that. And I will close with a love poem for my Aroace friend. Because she's so full of love. So this is Ode to a Jade-Eyed Hestia. 1. Focaccia. The fluff of focaccia fills my parched mouth, oregano and rosemary on the interior of my chubby-cheeked smile. I'm practically drinking the bread, so saturated with olive oil it seems it's already been dipped in the communion cup. She takes her mask off to eat, and it is the first bite of focaccia. Her smile is fluffy, her eyes rich. In this candid communion, her cautiously distanced body is like the oil. I could be saturated in staring, and it would not warm me like water. Bodies against bodies of water. Heads against shoulders against water, warm tears and warm chests warm because of water. I find home in her homeostasis. Fluid is her patience for the world, but water is stubborn for warmth. Water will be crushed against rock cliffs and bent to the moon, come and go with open palms, but to warmth, water will cling, clutch, hold tight. It is no wonder these bodies of water hold each other so tight. Thank you.
That was Charlotte Maleski. Oh my word. I do not believe my eyes and ears. I am totally queerified. This is some serious queerification happening. And yes, Dwayne, I second that. Charlotte is amazing. What I'm going to do is read you 3 short poems. At the end of this reading, I'm going to introduce back all of the poets who have read, and I'm hoping that as I introduce them one by one, we will appear, and maybe we could have like a little group shot portrait, and then I'm going to bring back Patrick Washington. So shout out to Andy, who's doing our amazing technical virtual magic. So these 2 poems, I am in love. I am finally dating someone whose name I know, that knows that we are dating, because I think that was the problem in my life, is that I tend to date guys who don't know that we are dating. And so This pandemic has made me humble. It's made it really real, and I feel blessed. So I'm going to read two love poems for you all. This is called Arboretum, and this was written a year ago at this time. If you haven't been to the DC Arboretum, there is a place that is just all lilacs. All right. Arboretum. It's nice to be led across a meadow by a guy you're smitten by, and he smitten by you, and you both stumble on lilac lands. And you realize love is a bit like lilac lands. You just never expected to get there till you smell the lilacs together. All right, we need some lilacs. All right, this next one is my little erotic piece. It's called Sometimes Sexual Healing Requires a Blindfold. You're like a little dragon fruit. You're like a comet, powdered cardamom about your puckered lip. Your lips are lassies. One of my words about you, smoothie. I whisper smoothly. In bed, this smoothing. You thick pie of a meringue man. You, and then alone with Chromebook over my breasts. These keys and letters brushing you in the Google Docs, going gaga, wagging, lagging against sleep in the nightlight like a lighthouse. Light me up, marquee me with your electrolyte juice. And this last poem that I'm going to read, I will preface. Last year, I had an invitation to read at the Whitney Biennial in New York City. It's probably one of the first and one of the rarest times where poets actually get to read at an art museum. And this particular Whitney Biennial of this year features two different art showcases. This is happening in April, early this month, and about 3 days or 4 days before the reading, I had COVID. So this poem is called Missing the Whitney Biennial Reading. I feel like a canceled Broadway show. A chorus boy who stopped their own musical because of COVID. C. T. I will wear my leopard two-piece and high heels in my living room. Watch my tribe read their poems on a live stream instead. Sit fever-fatigued on the leather sofa, seeing the painted fingernails of a soot-covered hand over rubble. A Ukrainian makeup artist recognizes the polish. In quarantine, I will prance about my tiny living room and celebrate because I, too, many, many decades ago, once pounded the pavements of Alphabet City in search of an open mic. You could live off $7 an hour cash back then. Red beans and yellow rice for $3. Only $3 at the Chinese takeout. How blessed to not be dead. How blessed to be able to exhale. How blessed to be remembered from afar. So, I am Reggie
Wow.
Cabico. Thank you.
Wow. I just had to jump in. I wasn't supposed to, but I had to do that.
Oh, I'm glad you jumped in because I was feeling, the feelings, and I'm glad that you jumped in because I know that you would give me a hug and I would give you a hug.
Man, look. When I see you finally, I've got him. I got you. I've got you. But this is beautiful. Look. I felt that the whole time. I felt like a lunar solar eclipse. The moon was coming closer. The sun was coming closer. My heart was in the middle. It was a beautiful, beautiful reading. Oh,
Rainbows everywhere.
yes.
Rainbows everywhere. Patrick, I'd love to bring back all of the poets, so maybe we could have a little group and applause.
Yeah, Andy, can you bring him?
Yeah, I'm going to introduce them, starting with Charlotte all the way back to Dwayne B. So please help me welcome back to our virtual stream. Let's get back, bring back Charlotte Maleski, y'all. Charlotte in the house. I am a new fan of Charlotte Maleski, y'all. Let's bring back into our virtual stage here A.TONY Jerome, y'all.
Hey, Tony. Fire. Like I've known A.TONY from working with them, but like they hear them spit, it's a whole nother, like I got brand new respect for you.
Let's bring back a new fan. I am A.TONY Jerome. Let's bring back ISHANEE CHANDA, y'all. ISHANEE. Astonishing ISHANEE.
Beautiful. I'm so glad to meet you.
And also my fellow heart in so many ways, Dwayne B. Let's bring back Dwayne B.
Yeah, I think they're co-parenting, but it's all good. We know that they're there.
Thank you all. Patrick, I think people want to know what the next events are, and today is the last day of our festival with Gettin Free. For those who just joined us.
Yeah. This is next to last. One more event, David and Goliath, is happening at 8 p.m. We're going to have the new poets, the fresh faces, and some of our more seasoned poets. So that's going to be a lot of fun. 8 p.m. right here. And let me give everyone an opportunity. If you have any upcoming events or things that you want to announce, now will be the time. Books and stuff like that. No, everybody did like this at the same time. They were like, well, look, keep writing like that, and it won't be long. I tell you, the offers are gonna come. I'm gonna put it out there in the universe, man, because I want to hear and read more.
I also want to give a shout out to Words, Beats, and Life for keeping it going, and keeping the literature, the beats, and the life going during probably one of our most difficult times. So, and it's an honor to be invited and to help co-curate and MC this. So thank you all to our poets and to Patrick Washington and to Andy.
Yes. So that's it. Look, I need a nap. So yes, I'm done. If all hearts and minds are clear, I think I just want to thank Andy for holding down the stream, and I will see you all.
And I just want to say hug queer, trans, non-binary person, because we need some love, right? So
Yeah.
So virtual hugs to you all. Thank you.
Much love. Peace, y'all.